I am the Pharaoh of ancient Egypt. The Pharaoh was the ruler or king of ancient Egypt. He was the head of government, chief priest of every temple, general of the army, and the head of Egypt's legal system. This is the headdress of King Tutankhamun, commonly known as King Tut. He was crowned pharaoh at the age of 8 and died at the age of 18. Through offerings to the gods, the pharaoh ensured the flooding of the Nile. This enriched the soil with nutrients to ensure the success of future food crops. King Ramesses II is one of the best-known pharaohs of Egypt. Ruling from around 1289 to 1224 BC. He had built more temples, statues and monuments to honor the gods than any other pharaoh. He led the Egyptian army in the Battle of Kadesh. Descriptions of his army have been found carved into walls. This is the largest temple at Abu Simbel. It was dedicated to 3 gods, and Ramesses II who became deified, which means he too became a god after his death, according to belief. This is the smaller temple at Abu Simbel. It was built for Ramesses II's wife, Nefertari. Egyptian temples were believed to be the gods' home on earth. Only priests and priestesses could go inside to worship. Ordinary Egyptians were allowed into the courtyard only to pray or leave offerings for the gods. The pharaoh, as chief priest, was allowed into any temple, although he appointed other priests to perform ceremonies for him. The pharaoh's crown is consisting of 2 parts. The center part, which is white, represents Upper Egypt, while the lower red part represents Lower Egypt. Ancient Egyptians believed that by praying to the gods and mummification of the body, it was possible to live on after death. Many rituals were completed during mummification. It was believed that only certain parts of a person lived on after death: the soul, Ek, and the life force, Ka. The memory and personality, Ba, made the journey from the tomb to the underworld. During the mummification of a pharaoh, an ornately decorated mask was put over the mummy's head, like this one from the tomb of King Tut. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built as the final resting place of Pharaoh Khufu around 2550 BC. The other 2 pyramids were for the pharaohs, Menkaure and Khafra. The pharaohs insisted that 3 smaller pyramids were built for their wives. The Egyptians believed that the Sphinx acted like a bodyguard in which it had magical powers to protect the tombs and temples that it watched over. The Valley of the Kings was built into the solid limestone rock in a valley on the west bank of the Nile. This was an attempt to keep the tombs of the pharaohs safe from tomb raiders. Pharaohs had all of their worldly possessions and wealth buried with them for the afterlife. Most tombs contained corridors, an antechamber, and a sarcophagus chamber. This is the sarcophagus of King Tut. Despite all measures taken to protect the tombs from raiders, most tombs in the Valley of the Kings have been robbed and left empty. King Tut's tomb was only believed to have been robbed twice, but basically untouched, excluding Howard Carter's expedition in 1914 to 1922. Tutankhamun's tomb contains a burial chamber and a treasury. It is one of the smallest tombs in the Valley of the Kings. Bibliography: Gonam.com. Your Ancient Egypt, by Anita Gangery. Why Were Mummies Wrapped? By Miles Kelly. Tales from the Tomb, National Geographic, DVD. Ancient Egypt by Jeremy Smith. Shukran.